Right, so we're just going to go out and pick some basil from the garden. Simon?
Hello.
What are you doing in my garden?
Well, I was just inspecting it to make sure that all your basil was right here.
Well, then I guess you're going to be my helper for the next 3-ingredient recipe. Now, Simon,
That hurt.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself?
What? I was just trying to get you some basil for your 3-ingredient recipe there.
Oh, so that's what you were doing, huh?
What else would I be doing in the garden?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of the mint and the cilantro and the oregano, and now the basil's going missing. So you're
It's
telling
very
me...
tasty. I mean, it's in tasty in your recipes there.
Yeah, you better be careful about incriminating yourself, Buster.
I plead the Fifth Amendment of your Constitution, I believe.
All right, well, since Simon's already pleaded the Fifth Amendment, why don't we get started on a 3-ingredient recipe?
All right.
Today we're going to use the basil from my garden that Simon was so nice to acquire.
You're very welcome.
And we are going to make a great summer salad. This is a really simple, very flavorful, herbaceous, strawberry balsamic basil salad. What do you think about that, Simon?
Sounds very tasty.
Yes.
Especially with basil, though.
Oh,
What
yes.
do you get?
Now, using balsamic vinegar or any sort of vinegar in a dessert or in something with sweet fruit in it is not something that a lot of people are used to, but actually balsamic vinegar is very, very sweet, especially if you get a good balsamic vinegar. You don't happen to have acquired a good balsamic vinegar, have you?
I'm pleading the Fifth again.
All right, well, we already have some for this recipe, so why don't we get to those 3 ingredients, and then we'll go over how to make this recipe.
All right.
So our first ingredient is
It was in my pack, you see.
basil.
Yes.
I turned my back for 1 second, and it's already in his pack.
Well, that's where it should be then.
Right.
Until it gets into the recipe.
I see. So
Right.
if you don't have a pack rat, you may want to get some basil from your garden, or you can just pick up some fresh basil. We're going to use about 8 fresh basil leaves.
8 of them.
8 of them.
I think I have the rest of them in my pack, I think.
There they are.
Yes. Oh, so that's where the strawberries went.
Oh, were you looking for the strawberries?
Well, to help you with your recipe, of course.
He's so helpful.
Of course.
Well, I went out and I got strawberries myself because I didn't know that Simon would be my helper this week, but we are going to use 1 quart of fresh strawberries. Make sure they're really nice and ripe so that they're really nice and sweet, because we are going to be mixing this with an herb and with vinegar, so this is going to be the sweetness in this dish.
Yeah.
Our final ingredient is balsamic vinegar.
Hey, that looks like the bottle I used to have.
Oh, really?
Yes, I had procured it for myself a while ago.
Oh, yeah, about the time that it went missing from the cabinet, I think.
Oh, yes, right around that time.
Right about that time.
Oh, sorry.
Shall I continue?
Oh, please do.
All right, so balsamic vinegar is a very sweet vinegar. If you haven't had it before, you're going to notice that it's very dark in color, and you're going to want to use a really good balsamic vinegar. The better of the quality it is, the older, the more that it's been aged, the sweeter it's going to be. That means that you're going to want to get a more expensive balsamic vinegar. You can get what they call balsamic reductions, which are supposed to be sweeter, but they're usually made with a less expensive and less quality balsamic vinegar, and it's not going to taste as good on your salad. So really invest in some good balsamic vinegar. It's great on any salad dressing, and it's great on strawberries, and with a lot of other treats like cheeses. So really do invest in it. It keeps forever.
You have cheeses? What did you say you had the cheeses?
Perhaps we'll have that after the salad.
Oh, good.
All right.
Courses.
All right, so why don't we get to making this recipe? I've divided my strawberries in half, and I've cut them in 2 different ways. Half of them I've cut lengthwise, and I'm going to put these directly into the fridge so they can get nice and cold, because I do like a cold strawberry salad. The other half I have cut into thin slices, and these I'm going to macerate with the balsamic vinegar and with a little bit of the basil. What this does is not only soften up these strawberries, gives you a different texture that goes on top of the chunkier strawberries, but it also will make its own dressing for the salad itself. So let's set these aside just for a moment. I'm going to take half the basil that Simon was kind enough to pick for me, and I just nestle them all in together with each other. This is about 4 large basil leaves, and I'm just going to roll them up into a cigar shape. It doesn't have to be too tight, they just have to be rolled all around one another. And then what I'm going to do is just make very, very small slices of this rolled up cigar of basil leaves. Now the technical term for this is chiffonade. All right, so now we just have this confetti of basil that's going to go onto our strawberries. We could just toss this together. And finally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my balsamic vinegar. Mine comes with a little top, a little stopper that you can pour from. If it makes it easier for you, you may want to put this into a tablespoon before you pour it over your strawberries. You don't want to use too much balsamic vinegar. Even though this is a very sweet balsamic, it still is vinegar, so you don't want a very, very vinegary dressing. You want just enough so that the sugar in this vinegar will start to macerate the strawberries, and that's all going to meld together. And the resulting juice that you get at the bottom of this bowl is going to turn into the dressing that goes over the whole salad. So this is going to be about 1.5 to 2 tablespoons. It depends on how acidic you can take it. I really, really like this balsamic vinegar, so I'm going to go for about 2 tablespoons. And now all I have to do is just mix this up. Now, even though balsamic vinegar is very acidic, there is sugar in it. It is made with grapes, after all. So this is going to macerate these strawberries. If you want a sweeter salad, you can always add a little bit of sugar at this time. We're limited to 3 ingredients, so I used a very sweet balsamic, but there's no reason why you can't add some sugar. That will also speed up the macerating process. I'm going to let these hang out on my counter for about an hour or so, and then I'm going to mix them with the larger chunks of strawberry. Alright, so it's been about an hour, and as you can see, there is a tremendous amount of liquid now from these berries macerating in this balsamic. So what we're going to do is take the chunkier strawberries that I have been keeping in the fridge just to get them nice and cold, and I'm just going to combine the two. You want to make sure to get as much of this beautiful juice as you can, because that is going to serve as our dressing. We're just going to mix that all together. And now, just to add a little bit more freshness to this, I'm just going to take the remainder of the basil that Simon picked for us, and I'm going to cut that up. Now these are in a little bit bigger pieces than we had for the chiffonade. That's because this serves more as sort of an accent herb. I'm just going to sprinkle that over the top. That adds a little bit of color to the salad. It also adds a nice pop of basil flavor. So you've got the milder basil flavor that has combined when the berries and the vinegar macerated together, and then you've got this nice fresh basil on top, cold strawberries that are nice and chunky, plus really broken down strawberries serving as a sauce. This is going to just go into a dish, and we are going to see how Simon likes it. So as you can see, this turns out to be a really nice, refreshing summer salad. It's got a little bit of a kick to it from the balsamic. It's got some herb flavor from the basil. Simon, what do you think?
It's quite tasty, actually.
Yes. So it was worth all the work of acquiring that basil.
It's always worth the acquiring, eh?
Oh, definitely. So if you don't have a helper to get this for you, it just takes one trip to the grocery store or one trip out to the garden to get yourself some strawberries, some basil, and like I said, invest in a really good balsamic vinegar, because that's going to make all the difference in this salad.
Yes, I quite concur with that. Where did you say the bottle was again?
We'll talk.
All right, we'll talk.
What a great coincidence that you just happened to show up in the garden to help us with this video.
It's interesting how that coincidences.
Oh, they always seem to happen when you're around there, Simon.
Well, you know, it happens the same time every week, so I don't know, it's not that difficult to.
Oh, very good,
come in.
very good. Well, if the viewers want to help us out, how can they do that?
Well, they can comment down below.
Yep, commenting down below, that helps us. It also, if you have any questions or if you have any recipes that you'd like us to try with 3 ingredients,
Let me know where some of the ingredients might be procured.
well, I don't know if that might be aiding and abetting, but that could happen. Also, you can subscribe. Subscribing helps us because that allows us to tell you when a new episode is going to be here. Also, if you'd like this video and you'd like to give it a thumbs up, that would be great as well. That also helps us quite a bit. We also have a couple of other series here on this channel on weekends. George, he's a cat.
He's a cat.
Yes.
Well, I'm not sure I would like to be around there.
Well, you know, if you get out of line next time, George might show up and he might not be so nice.
Oh, well, maybe I can procure something for him. Some catnip or some tuna, I think.
Oh, I see. Bribery.
Bribery works all the time, I think.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I've heard it works.
So George is here to talk about good self-esteem. He's here on weekends, and on Tuesdays I talk about long hair for men.
Oh, you have nice, lovely long hair.
Oh, so you think that flattery is going to work as well?
Well, bribery doesn't work, and flattery might work. I mean,
all right. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We will see you again next week on 3 ingredient recipes. Bye
bye, ta-ta, and all that rot.
All right. Well, that was good, Simon. Thanks so much.
You're quite welcome.
Okay. Well, thanks for. I'll see you again next time. I'm going to just take off.
All right. Thank you.
See ya. If the viewers want to help us, how can they help us with this series as much as you've helped us with this series?
Well, no one can ever help you as much as I have helped.
Oh, your head
sorry.
came in.
Sorry.
Poor Peter. Hey guys, you saw Peter.